Welcome to my channel, New Vision for Life with Sherwood K. We're going to talk about the loss of a spouse, early retirement. We're also going to talk about financial issues. More or less, we're going to talk about life. Many of us grew up differently than most people would assume that we grew up. Many of us had single parent homes, or the mother was the breadwinner, the father, the mother, and the disciplinarian, all three combined. My channel is a positive channel. I detail where I was married for 17 years, and at the young age of 47, I became a widower. My wife was 48 when she passed away of a heart attack. That brings me into when you're dating and when you get married, certain things need to be brought out in the open. More or less, we talked about we wanted to be cremated, but my father passed away in 2018. I'm sorry, 2016, and at that funeral, we decided, well, rather she decided, cremation wasn't the way for her, due to the way they saw how my family reacted to my father's wife when she said he wanted to be cremated. So she said, well, I'm going to spare you that. And that way, just have a regular funeral. The reason why I say you need to talk about things is because her wishes were to be an organ donor. But once the funeral person explained to me in detail, I decided against that because we couldn't bury her the normal way. So that's something I feel that as a couple, you need to discuss. And if you have to, write it down so everyone's aware. There's no shocks or surprises at the end of the day. I've had that conversation with my new wife, Daisy. At first, she didn't want to talk about it because it's a difficult subject. But I've learned from experience that's something you need to know. So that way, everyone's wishes are honored. What are some of the things I've learned after my wife passed away? I learned to respect myself. And what do I mean by that? I learned that when people act like you're bothering them, they don't have time for you. Give them their space. Just back away. Do you. Reevaluate the situation. See if you're the one always calling them. Phone works two ways. That person can call you. They can text you. They can email you. See if you're always the one that's reaching out to them versus the other way around. See if you're the one that's always inviting that person out to do this, to do that, hang out. Sometimes people just don't like you. And once you realize that, you can move on. Seek counseling. As a man, sometimes we have a hard time reaching out, saying we need help. My pride wouldn't let me reach out for help. Besides the usual, your buddies or your family calling, hey, I'm just checking on you, seeing how you doing. And the usual, I'm okay, I'm strong, I'm tough. Well, sometimes you really need to reach out to a professional so they can help you. And I'm not ashamed to say I reached out and I got the help I needed. So don't be afraid or ashamed to reach out and seek help and guidance. I've always been a positive, upbeat person, but when my wife passed away, I have to admit I was lost for a while. Not because she was gone, but because I didn't have a focus on what was next in my life since she was gone. That was my direction, my focus. But then you realize and you remember, hey, I had a life before I met my wife. And then I started thinking about some of the things I enjoyed in life and some of the things I've always wanted to do. So then I thought about a bucket list. And traveling is one of my favorite things to do, but limited funds and time were always my obstacle. So once I thought about it, I devised a plan, started saving money, and luckily I'm a truck driver. So once I was cleared to go back to work, I just threw myself into work, which is something most men always do anyway. When we have a problem, we throw ourselves into work. When we're happy, we throw ourselves into work. When we're mad, we throw ourselves into work. We all heal at different rates, different strokes for different folks, as they say. So one of the mistakes I made was I tried to rush it. I got on the internet, tried to find a friend, something to relieve the pain, someone to talk to, someone to look forward to seeing and talking to and everything. I can honestly say that was a mistake. It was too soon. So if you don't learn anything at all that I talk about on this channel, first and foremost, give yourself time to heal before you try to move on. I moved on too soon the very first time, and my brain wasn't ready. The pain is there, and you try to man up and say, I'm okay, I'm tough, I can take it, I'm all right. But in reality, you need time to heal. And, people give you advice, they mean well, but hey, this is my life, not yours. That's the approach I had, Was it right? No, it was not. When you try to move on too soon, a lot of times, like I said before, you're not thinking clearly. So people can take advantage of you. Let's just say people can see weakness in a person. So when you're dealing with online or people in general, you always need to have your faculties about you. You can't trust everyone. Everyone's not your friend. Same things you learned in life, before. A word to the wise, once you start healing, you need to you need to get off of Facebook. Just for a time, not permanently. And the reason why I say that, every day, I wasn't thinking about anything negative, anything positive. I'm just surviving. I click on Facebook, I laugh at a couple of funny things. All of a sudden, memories will pop up. So, depending on how strong you're feeling that day, that could be a setback. Me and my first wife, we took many, many pictures. Like I said before, I'm a truck driver, and a lot of times she would go places with me. So that particular day, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were here. The next day, we're somewhere else, and that picture would pop up. And so after a while, you just start saying, man, I don't want to look at Facebook for a while. So depending on what stage of grief you're in, you may want to lay off Facebook for a while. And like I say, you need to seek counseling. You know you, I don't know you. So for me, I wasn't raised seeking counseling, so it took a while before I actually reached out and said, hey, this is more than I can handle. I need help. And hopefully you reached out to the right person who can help you and not set you back. And worked wonders for me. Also, then you start feeling guilty. Not that you did anything wrong to that person. You're like, well, why didn't I see this? Why didn't I know that? What if I done this? What if I done this differently? What if I had done this? What if this? What that? After a while, you drive yourself crazy and thinking about the what ifs. For some of us, when we lose that person that we love, you're lost. People been passing away many, many years before we were ever born, and time marches on for all of us. So I say that to say this. Even though that person you love is gone, they're in a better place. No more pain, suffering, or heartaches. Now, you're still here, but you're missing that person, and that's normal. And I feel it's best to honor that person by living your life. You know, you can't spend any more time with that person. You can go visit their grave. You can release balloons in their honor, have little celebrations here. But anything you do should always be to honor their memory. On that same note, once that person has passed on, it's going to be some good things and some bad things you're going to find out about that person via people remembering certain stories and laughing, having a good time. Maybe you find some text message or emails or something in their phone that you were kind of surprised about. That's life. You know, people aren't perfect. So even in death, you can't make that person become perfect. But you can choose how you talk about that person. Choose your words wisely if you do have anything negative that you found out about that person. To the 2 subscribers I have, I want to say thank you for staying with me. I know it's been a long time since I posted anything, and the quality hasn't been the best, so I'm working on that now. I just want to say thank you again, and I'm working on it.